Water sports operators benefiting from the surging number of tourists in Barbados. Restaurants are fully booked and ready to deliver on the dining experience on Christmas Day. The Chief Medical Officer encouraging Barbadians to have a safe and healthy Christmas.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. With Barbados experiencing a record year for visitor arrivals, water sports remains a popular attraction for many tourists this winter season. Our reporter Akeem Clinkett visited some of the island's beaches and businesses to hear from the operators.
The beaches of Barbados have become a play park for children and adults, especially when you factor in the jet ski, scuba diving, surfing, and snorkeling into the equation. While swimming and just sea bathing are past and relaxing times for visitors, some locals have created businesses that not only pay the bills, but help the economy. This year, the tourist season has so far been reported as being one for the books, which means more traffic is expected for the water sport businesses. Surf instructor at Barry Surf School in Dover, Jason Bentham, says things have been really good thus far.
Business is going really good right now. We had a lot of tourists in the island recently, more coming in. I actually saw something about record arrivals at the airport over the next couple of weeks, so we're really looking forward to that. Being super busy every day. We are looking forward to an amazing season. Things are really looking up for the entire tourist industry.
Over at Barbados Blue, scuba instructor Kira says they are fully booked throughout the season.
I mean, it's really exciting to have the boat so full right now. It's amazing that so many people want to see our underwater world. We're always encouraging new people to see it, of course, because seeing is believing and then it's caring. The more people that have access to it, the more people care about it and then want to focus on the conservation efforts, which is really, you know, where we're proud and want to put the most work in. This year is definitely busier than last year, which was busier than the year before. And of course, COVID, we saw that lull in tourists when it wasn't as accessible. So it's nice to see everyone really bouncing back and everything getting busy again and everyone enjoying the ocean.
Meanwhile, Barry Barnfield from Barry Surf School says over the years things have become even more seasonal and he would like interest in water sports to continue outside of the tourist season.
I've been in the water sports business, the surf school business for 20 years. And my dad and mom started with the catamarans with Irish Mist back in the early 80s. And yeah, I just feel like tourism in general, you know, is very seasonal. What I have noticed is it's become more seasonal. Holiday seasons, we're doing great. And then in between, it's kind of sluggish and you kind of would like to see the in-between times a little bit more busy, which I think we could all work on.
The tourist season in Barbados is scheduled to finish in April. Akeem Clinkett, CBC News.
Well, in related news, we're hearing that restaurants are fully booked and ready to deliver on the dining experience expected on Christmas Day. Trevor Thorpe reports.
Barbadians can expect the traditional Christmas fare wherever they choose to dine out on Wednesday. Hospitality officials say the numbers are up compared with last year, continuing the trend of many Barbadians no longer having Christmas lunch at home, but choosing instead to eat out. General Manager at Radisson Aquatica, Jerry Lewis, says the red carpet welcome awaits everyone in addition to a home away from home experience.
The menu is traditional, and you can't really waver with the traditional items. You know what I mean? So the traditional items that Barbadians will expect to be on the menu, which are items that they would have cooked at home anyway, like the turkey and the ham and the jug and the Christmas cake and so on. You got to make sure that you're bringing home to the Radisson. That when they come here, they're away from home, but they feel that they are still at home in a very familiar setting.
At Hilton Barbados Resort, General Manager Jacques Montiel says they are fully booked and Wednesday has all the ingredients of being a very good day for everyone.
We are going to be like almost every year. We have a great local following. We are sold out. So I think we have everybody that normally comes here, plus our normal guests. The hotel is pretty much sold out, so we are going to have a phenomenal Christmas.
General Manager at Tapas Restaurant, Alfredo Giovanni, says he is expecting an international gathering and has added a few new things to the menu.
We always change the menu for Christmas, so definitely we always have few different items. You know, for example, we put oysters during the Christmas period. it's an exotic item that always appeals to local century.
The countdown is on, with less than 30 hours to go before Christmas. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Well, there's been mixed reaction and responses from businesses in Speightstown, St. Peter, regarding the expected increase in sales normally associated with the Christmas season. Rachel Agard took a trip to the northern town. She filed this report.
Retailers in Speightstown are hopeful that come next year, there will be more foot traffic through the town to drive an uptick in business. The town recently hosted the luxury yacht Emerald Sakara, a move generally seen as a step in the right direction. Paddy instructor Philip Mahey, who operates from Reefers and Wreckers, says he believes more cruise ships will generate an increase in business.
That cruise ship is between 200 and 400 people at a time. They're being shuttled to Speightstown Jetty, and that's directly into Speightstown. Right? So that is a really good idea. That's been working for a long time, and I'm glad it's finally happening.
However, vegetable vendor Dawn Stewart, who has been selling in the area for 30 years, says while business picked up over the weekend, she did not expect any further increase in customer numbers. She adds that along with the decline in business over the years, local vegetables are also difficult to come by.
Normally, it don't be that busy for like vegetables vendors and stuff when it comes to the tourists and stuff, but the ones that come in to spend time with is okay. They buy stuff, but with this cruise ship, not sure.
Street vendor Mary Springer says before COVID, business was plentiful, but since the pandemic, there has been a steady decline.
People passing, but they're not really buying. I think things have gone bad. Buses don't pass this way. And I think that's one of the reasons too that business has gone down, because there's no buses coming this way.
Nevertheless, Managing Director of Eddie's Trading, Anthony Edwards, says business has been steady for him as he marketed for the Christmas season months ago.
What I do in Speightstown is to market Eddie's. I concentrate on the people Eddie's. You can do a lot of investment, but if you don't do investment, normally you would know you can't get business. A lot of people say, well, money is not around. But yes, money is around, but you have to do business to the people to get that money. For me, Speightstown is fantastic.
One of the well-known restaurants in the heart of Speightstown, Fisherman's Pub, remains closed for renovations. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
The Center for Disease Control has issued a travel advisory against Barbados for the Oropouche virus. It came out on December the 19th, is at level 1. The notice cautions visitors against mosquitoes and says the case count is low. Barbados and other Central American countries are on that list. The island was last reported to have 2 cases of the virus, which is also spread by sandflies. The advisory tells pregnant women to consult their doctors before traveling. Chief Medical Officer, the Most Honorable Dr. Kenneth George, wants Barbadians to be cautious this season as they celebrate the Yuletide season. In addition to making healthier food choices, he's urging Barbadians to stay away from activities that would place healthcare professionals, particularly those at the Accident and Emergency Department, under pressure. He tells CBC News drivers also need to be extra cautious when using alcohol to avoid any additional fatalities for the year.
Sometimes to be very cautious. Don't overdo too much, because we don't want you to be, quote unquote, reaping the benefits in the new year or the problems in the new year. But with respect to accidents and emergency, I would encourage Barbadians to don't leave their elderly at the QEH, because for whatever reasons, we historically have seen that abandoning elderly persons around Christmas has always been a feature. So we hope that doesn't occur this year.
Number of visitors on the island at this time. The Chief Medical Officer is reminding Barbadians that the busy tourist season here corresponds with the flu season in our northern source markets.
Close contact with strangers, being among people who have flu-like symptoms, those are things that should not occur. And it is up to individuals to make those choices. In cases wherein we have elderly persons with several uncommunicable diseases, the wearing of masks may be an option at this time.
Coming up, an abundance of vegetables available for Christmas. There is an adequate supply of fruits and vegetables now on the market despite facing shortages in recent months. That's according to Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security Indar Ware. He tells CBC News fruits and vegetables are available for Barbadians to purchase and prepare their favorite meals for the Yuletide season. The minister adds that a boat has recently resumed bringing produce from St. Vincent and the Grenadines to Barbados on a weekly basis.
There are supplies of vegetables available in the supermarket and certainly with all the vendors as well. I have had some calls earlier today asking about sweet potatoes, and I had to give the assurance that there is still some sweet potato available, even though the yields have not been as great as they were in the past, given the fact that the climate crisis is still affecting us. And the persistent rain, and prior to that, the prolonged drought, plus the various types of crop diseases would have impacted the sweet potato production. But we still have sweet potatoes, we have yam, and of course an abundance of vegetables.
Minister Ware says as soon as the new year turns, his ministry will be ramping up efforts to improve food security on the island.
There is an IAMS project that we're going to be rolling out, and of course we're going to look to see how we can ramp up production in all crops come next year. We're starting to put up the greenhouses that came in from Guyana, and I do look forward to an exciting year next year. The amount of things that we are hoping to produce will significantly drive prices down, and that is my objective for 2025.
The best of Barbados culinary professionals were on display as the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association celebrated this year's BHTA's Barbados National Culinary and Taste of the Caribbean teams. BHTA's Chief Executive Officer Ryan Ford says next year there will be more developmental programs for chefs with the aim to keep Barbados on the map. Again, here's Rachel Agard.
Barbados remains the culinary capital of the Caribbean, and this year's team members who reclaimed the crown at the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association's Taste of the Caribbean competition were lauded for their efforts. BHTA's Chief Executive Officer Ryan Ford says going forward, Barbados intends to make it even bigger and better.
Our goal is to develop a Barbados culinary leadership program. And the competition we have grown to win and love is just a chapter of this program. Another area of focus is on our work with ICA on sustainable sourcing and procurement practices of local produce alongside farmers, chefs, and bartenders. This project is to enhance the partnerships and linkages with key industries such as fisheries, agriculture, and who also play an important role in our culinary tourism offering.
Team manager Chef Adrian Cumberbatch says it was no easy feat, and next year they intend to capture gold in every category.
If you had come in October to see what we were making, we would not even get a bronze medal in Miami. But through the commitment of the management team, my chef Javon and Damien and Rohan, pushing the team into hand selecting some unique Bajan dishes to take to the judges in Miami, because the criteria is a little bit different this year. Not a little bit. It was a lot different this year. It was harder. The judging points were harder because they didn't have a team competition. So each individual person on the team had to score high for us to have won the Caribbean Team of the Year.
And Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Andrea Franklin, delivering remarks on behalf of Minister of Tourism Ian Goodin-Edghill, says culinary tourism is an integral part of Barbados's appeal as a leading global destination.
The success of Barbados' national culinary team, therefore, is indeed a personal achievement for each team member, a national triumph, a boost for our tourism sector, and indeed a proud moment for our country. Our chefs and mixologists have proven that Barbadian flavors, rooted in heritage, yet reimagined with creativity, can shine on the world stage.
Regarding the individual achievements, Chef Dijon Toppin won the Junior Chef of the Year award and the Hand Shank Commemorative Award for the most innovative dish utilizing indigenous ingredients. Mixologist Alex Chandler copped gold in the Caribbean Bartender Competition and Best Non-Alcoholic Drink. Rakina Curtin won silver in the Caribbean Pastry Chef of the Year competition, while Senior Chef Ronaldo Joseph also copped silver in the Caribbean Chef of the Year segment. The management team included mixology coach Rohan Hackshaw, culinary coach Chef Damian Leash, assistant manager Javon Cummins, and team manager Chef Adrian Cumberbatch. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Members of the St. Michael Southeast constituency came together on a show of camaraderie as Member of Parliament Cynthia Bradshaw held her annual Christmas party. More in this report.
Face painting, bouncy castles, photo booths, and a display by the Pinelands Creative Workshop were the order of the day at this year's Auntie Santia's Christmas party. This year was well attended after not being able to host a party of this magnitude as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Member of Parliament Cynthia Bradshaw says this year's attractions were even bigger as she thanked all those who contributed to the endeavor.
Many of the children who are at the event here today are children who were here from 10 years ago, who would have participated and played in many of the activities, and they themselves have now come and given back to the community by being a number of the volunteers working with the younger children. Also, I have a number of people who were born and raised in St. Michael's Southeast, people who stay in contact not only with myself but my dad as well, who represented the area, and they all have found a way to be able to give back to the community of St. Michael's Southeast.
And she says more than ever, she is happy to be able to give back during this Christmas season.
To be able to share, to give, and to, do it together in the spirit of Christmas, bringing everybody together to really enjoy themselves. Many of these kids will not have the opportunity to have a good Christmas. And so I go all out for this event because I want to make it special for them. And I think based on the reaction of all of the kids and their parents, it's a time for them to be able to come out and treat the kids and to enjoy the Christmas season. So on behalf of me and my family, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year as well. Merry Christmas from St. Michael's Southeast.
Everybody hands up? Hands down?
The party went well into the night, with some of the children engaging in a session with soca star Spinny and lighting up the skies with their glow sticks. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Constituents in St. Michael's South in need of assistance will be able to utilize vouchers donated by the Eric Hassel Group of companies. The vouchers were handed over to the Poverty Was charity, which will be responsible for distributing them to the less fortunate. During a brief presentation ceremony, Member of Parliament for the constituency, Kirk Humphreys, says this is the second time the group is donating the vouchers.
I thank specifically Erica Luke, who had reached out previously and recognized that we were doing a lot of community work, and community work is, is not inexpensive. And so with any support that we were able to get, I'm extremely appreciative of that. This year we would have done a number of things in the community. Particularly for Christmas, we held a children's party. We have a road tennis competition, hence the trophies that are there, the traditional hampers and vouchers and gifts for the children and so on. And so I'm appreciative of any support that we get, and I'm really thankful that we are receiving this support today. So I will turn over.
Eric Hassel Group Finance Manager Sandra Guy Arthur says the group, which is celebrating 55 years of operation, is committed to supporting the community.
Especially pleased as this is an initiative that was staff-driven.
and the company matched the donations made by the staff, which doubled the impact. Teamwork is one of the stated values of the Eric Hassel Group, and this is a tangible example of how we live the values of the company. We are therefore especially proud of this collaborative work.
Well, joining us now with Sports Night is Damien Best. Damien, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you, Pearson. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. Well, batter Amir Jangu has earned a maiden call-up to the West Indies Test squad for the two-match series against Pakistan, which begins on January 16th in Karachi. Meanwhile, left-arm spinner Gurukesh Moti returns to the side, having missed the two-match series against Bangladesh last month. Jangu and Moti replace the fast-bowling duo of Shamar Joseph and Alzari Joseph. Shamar is suffering from shin splints, which forced him to miss the ODI series against Bangladesh earlier this month, while Alzari is unavailable due to what has been described as other engagements. So the full Windies squad reads: Craig Brathwaite, the captain; Joshua De Silva, his vice; Alec Athanase, Casey Carty, Justin Graves, Kavim Hodge, Tevin Imlak, Amir Jangu, Mikhail Louis, Gurukesh Moti, Anderson Phillip, Kemar Roach, Kevin Sinclair, Jaden Seals and Jamel Warrican. Next year's tour of Pakistan will be West Indies' first Test series there in more than 18 years. They last played Test in Pakistan in November of 2006 and a Test series in the UAE in October of 2016. Now, the upcoming Tests also mark the final installment of the ongoing World Test Championship 2023-2025 cycle. Well, coach of the West Indies women team, Shane Dietz, says the transition from the T20 to the ODI format is a work in progress for some players. He was speaking after the Windies lost the first ODI against India women yesterday by 211 runs. Now the Windies women will need to win tomorrow and Friday's match to clinch the series. That second ODI starts at 4 a.m. Barbados time. Well, the focus will be on the future of tennis in 2025. That's the word from the new president of the Barbados Tennis Association, Craig Smith. Smith replaced Dr. Raymond Ford as president after the recent BTA annual general meeting. Dr. Ford served in that post for around 25 years and has also been nominated as a lifetime vice president for his dedication to the development of tennis on the island. Now, speaking to CBC Sports, Smith says a vibrant schools program is essential to boosting the number of juniors involved in tennis.
We have a lot of good juniors, so we have to look at the development program for them. And one of the key things for us is to try and get tennis more into the community. So we have a potential sponsor on board, and we're going to try and get into the school. So we have a comprehensive school at the primary school level. So we want to teach them the benefit of sport, not just tennis, but we're using tennis as that avenue because it helps to build discipline, physical movement, and health. So that's our focus now is our schools program. Try and look for talent within the schools, develop the players, and also set up a program for our coaches to help them become more developed, because without them we can't push the sport forward.
Well, congratulating the Barbados Billie Jean King Cup team on being awarded the Team of the Year at the recent Barbados Olympic Association Awards ceremony. Smith says among the association's concerns is a lack of young females playing the sport.
We're hoping that with the school, by going into the primary schools, we can get some girls interested in tennis. We even plan to use our girls, our team, to just run as the face or ambassadors when they're actually to physically go into school, started girls, and try and encourage them to get into tennis. Myself and Lloyd Slocum, we actually went down to Trinidad for the tie. How we won, a miracle. Gabby Leslie played an incredible match. She was down to Jamaica, and me and Slocum like to think it's because we were there in the additional heckling and cheering that we got her through. And I'm totally impressed with how the girls performed, how they handled themselves. I mean, kudos to them, the future's bright. But again, behind them now, there are very few girls coming forward. So we have a challenge, but it's to get them now to develop for the future. So this is a 10 to 15 plan as it relates to the girls in particular, because there are not many girls in college. So we have a challenge with the girls. And again, to keep them playing after they finish.
On the men's side, at the national level, Smith says the new year will bring a fresh challenge with a Davis Cup World Group 1 playoff tie at the end of January.
We have a very critical tie coming up, and thanks to Darian, we're now playing a Group 1 promotion tie. We haven't played one of those for a long time. We played just relegation ties to try and stay in Group 2. So we have a Group 1 tie in Colombia, end of January. So the key now is to get Darien ready for that. The problem is on a clay court, which you don't have in Barbados. So, and it's even in the States, they're hard to find. So our approach will have to be to get to Colombia early enough. We're playing at altitude as well to get there, to climatize, to get ready for the tie. So that's going to be a fairly hard tie.
Well, that is the first half of Sports. Pearson is back over to you. I'll come back a bit later on.
All right, Damien, thank you. Next is our business report. In tonight's report, business at Pelican Island has taken off since its use as a fan zone for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup earlier this year. So says Chief Executive Officer of Export Barbados, Mark Hill. He was a guest on Morning Barbados, where he confirmed work to develop the venue into 3 distinct zones continues. Zone 1 is a dedicated space for food and entertainment and also houses the traditional craft village.
Then we have Zone 2, which is for designers. So we have a really great gallery there now that's doing extremely well. And we have resident artists, Ras Hakim, Ras Aishi, Guru, who are present there. So we're looking for a lot of our top designers to have a studio, have a space that they can operate out of. And then we're building one of the biggest day nurseries in the Caribbean. And that day nursery will cater to both preschool and also for elderly as well. We're running a lot of the utilities with renewables as well, because that's my heart, my passion as well. And it has evolved into a space since World Cup.
Well, on New Year's Eve next Tuesday, Q in the Community will be held at Pelican Island. Mr. Hill says that there will be the usual Q DJs as well as several live performances.
We're going to have the hats and the blowers on sale as well, but it's free. So we're making this a space where, you know, Barbadians know they can come, enjoy themselves. That's safe, quality experience from beginning to end. We'll be starting at 2 p.m., sorry, and going right through to 2 a.m. And we just anticipate it's just going to be a great time. We're going to have 2 different zones. We have Zone A, where you will have 1 set of DJs, and Zone B. So you can pick what experience you want to have there at Pelican Island.
Time now for tonight's trading report.
In Jamaica, Sagicor Group Jamaica Limited, with 413,893,531 units, was the volume leader, followed by Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial and Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited. In Trinidad and Tobago, Massey Holdings Limited was the volume leader, with 67,500 shares changing hands for a value of Trinidad and Tobago $260,523.84, followed by CIBC Caribbean Bank Limited. And here in Barbados, Epley Caribbean Property Fund Value Fund was the volume leader, trading 200 shares at Barbados 52 cents each, and they were followed by Emira Deposit Receipt.
And that's tonight's business report. The weather is next. Now together, let's take a look at the weather today. Well, throughout the day, a surface to mid-level ridge pattern was dominant across Barbados and the island chain, as well as Trinidad and Tobago. There were fair to partly cloudy skies and a few passing light showers. At Shernox at Christchurch, there was 2.3 millimeters of rainfall to have fallen throughout the day. Additionally, a plume of Sahara dust, which we can all see, also affected Barbados and the region. Now, due to the significant reduction in visibility across Barbados and surrounding marine area, the Met Service issued a dust haze advisory. Winds across the region were generally slight to moderate, peaking at 20 knots in St. Lucia. The Met Service sea drones indicated that swells ranged between 1.5 and 2 meters in open water. Throughout the day, a region of low-level instability under the support of an upper-level jet generated cloudy skies, scattered light to moderate showers, periods of rain and thunderstorms across Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, Hispaniola, and the easternmost region of Cuba. Elsewhere across the region, the partly cloudy skies of a weak ridge pattern were dominant. We shall take a break here. We're coming back with a look at the forecast. As promised, Damien Best is back with more. Damien.
Thanks so much, Pearson. Well, the highly anticipated Boxing Day card at Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Centre has been postponed. It was dubbed the Homecoming and was set to feature 4 professional fights and 2 amateur bouts, with the highlight being the clash between overseas-based Barbadian Cobia Soldier Brady and Colombian Delvis Julio. Matchbox Promotions announced on its social media that they faced a few final obstacles that made them accept that in order to give the boxers and fans the best possible experience and meet all the contractual agreements, they must pivot and adjust, with April 12, 2025 set aside as a new date for the card. With just a couple days to go before the scheduled showdown, Brady told CBC Sports he is disappointed, but the situation was out of his control. The 33-year-old said he had been working extremely hard preparing for the fight, which would have been his first pro bout at home. Well, Nikola Jokic overcame a slow start last night to finish with a triple-double as the visiting Denver Nuggets rebounded from a 17-point deficit to defeat the New Orleans Pelicans 132-129 in overtime in the NBA. The result has the Nuggets in second spot of the Northwest Division. For sports tonight, Pearson, it's back over to you.
Thanks for your time, Damien. We're right back after this break. And that's our time tonight. Thank you for yours. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, good night. By God's will, we'll see you tomorrow.